This Cowboys Report mailbag is made possible by Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming technology. I'm thankful for them. So is my wife. You can just ask her. Head over to manscaped.com and use promo code COWBOYS for 20% off and free shipping. Some super thanks I want to get to here. From Jeff Watson, sacrifice Rowdy at Jimmy Johnson's Ring of Honor induction equals a guaranteed Super Bowl victory. I tweeted this out. I stand by it. Jeff knows ball better than everybody else on here. This is a great idea, Jeff. Rowdy is a curse. He is a plague upon our houses. He has done nothing but reap famine and drought for Cowboys Nation. If you agree and you think Rowdy is a curse, type in Y for yes. Or if you disagree, because this is America, we believe in democracy, you can type in N for no. Sound off for me in the comment section right now. Marcus Arnold, another super thanks. If you can see my previous statements that I told you we don't have a lot of picks. I love being right. I think we are all glad that Marcus is right because Daron Bland has played some awesome football here. These both came in via super thanks. It's a feature on YouTube that allows you to donate outside of live videos. Click the thanks icon, edit your message, send it on in. We appreciate your support here at the Cowboys Report. Every super thanks, we will give you guys a shout out. Elmatic7, do you think that teams are able to run on us so easily because we're playing Bell, a safety at inside linebacker? The front is also leaving big gaps up front. I thought Hankins did not have his best stuff against Canada. I thought he got turned way too many times. It's multiple things. You had some of your defensive linemen getting turned. Bell tackles well. So it's not the size issue. It's that at times, as good as Markquese Bell has been overall this season, he will take some bad lanes. There were a couple times in that game he did not fill the gap properly. His run fit was off, led to some big chunk plays. And when you're going with a four-man front against five blockers, your linebacker has to help fill that other open spot. The Cowboys' best success as a run defense is that bear front. They'll go five guys across the front, Micah at linebacker. I think you'll see more of that moving forward this season. Abja Pawar, let Dak keep dealing. Why was the offensive play calling so conservative? They took a step back with our first half, weeks 1 to 5 offense. That's what the Panthers almost made you do. When you are in that shell coverage stuff, the things that are open are runs, which you ran the ball decently. You ran it effectively for the most part beyond the stupid Wildcat stuff, and short passes. You can take some seam shots, etc. There were some drops on some of your more downfield contested catch stuff. The Panthers did a good job defensively, and they've got a pretty solid defense. Ejiro Evero is going to be a head coach, I think, at some point in the NFL. He is that caliber of defensive mind. He's really good. But they took away the deep shot plays. That's what the good teams are going to do against you. So you still scored a bunch of points. You weren't as dynamic, but you also don't want to force shot plays into double coverage against shell coverage. That's not going to lead to good results. So I get why they did it this week. It's what the Panthers were trying desperately to make Dallas do. And outside of some blown coverages, some nice combo routes, Panthers did a good job. Dallas was just better. Josh Little, why has no one signed La'el Collins? He's not healthy. / he's asking for too much money and isn't ready to go. He had workouts. The Jets and Giants, two of the most injury-filled offensive lines in the NFL, brought him in for a visit. And then it has been radio silent on Collins since then. I don't think those visits went that whether it was because of money, health, or whatever. So would you add La'el Collins? At least let's say Cowboys practice squad, since those are easy to fill. It's the pinned comment on today's video. S for sign, P for path. From Vince, assume the Cowboys finish with the 5 seed. What is the most doable, realistic path to the Super Bowl? At Saints, at Lions, at Eagles. Probably what it would have to be. I don't think the Seahawks are going to catch the 49ers or beat them in the postseason. So I would assume as the 5 seed, you got to beat the 4 seed in New Orleans. You got to beat and then 2 of the top 3 seeds, which is, I don't want to play San Francisco. I want to avoid them. They own us. Lions, Eagles. I think you're right. Maybe it's Eagles, Lions flip potentially, but I think that's your most realistic and doable path. Elmatic 7, speculative question. Why aren't we as good on the road? Most teams aren't as good on the road. You're traveling, you're playing in front of a road environment. It's just tougher on you. You know, NFL players get jet lag too sometimes. It's a tougher environment. There's a reason why the home team gets some points from Vegas, right? It's a 3-point boost. It's kind of a lot in the NFL, somewhere in that range. So, you know, you're maybe it's some bad weather, or maybe your left tackle slept right on his neck and he got hurt again on the road. This year, you've kind of had some bad luck with, like, you were down 3 linemen against Arizona. It happens. You played like shit against San Francisco. So most teams aren't as good on the road. Doomsday 4.0. I don't think this year is as bad as they get. They are a very good team. They have got caught napping on 2 of the 3 losses. I mean, you laid an egg against San Francisco. No doubt about that one. And then Arizona. I still think for the Arizona game, you were down 3 linemen. That's tough to win. Now, you still should have won, and they did get caught napping on defense in particular in that game. The offensive issues kind of chalk up to some bad blocking up front. But yeah, look, if I had told you entering Thanksgiving you're 7-3, I think almost every single person would have said, you know what? That's good enough for me. That's a really good start to our season. Today's show is made possible by Manscaped. If you're ready to spice up your Thanksgiving as we dive headfirst into mountains of mashed potatoes, and for some people, not me, cranberry sauce, it's time to talk about the unsung hero of the holiday season, the Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Go cold turkey on your old razor and take care of your own turkey leg. Get it? With the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Visit manscaped.com and use code COWBOYS for 20% off and free shipping. Enjoy Thanksgiving in style with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, and make sure the turkey isn't the only thing gobbling this holiday season. That one might be too far, but I liked it anyway. It's still funny for me. Get 20% off and free shipping with code COWBOYS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping by using promo code COWBOYS at manscaped.com. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. The gobble part might have been a little bit too far, but I thought that was really funny. Will Marshall, $2 super chat. Take the Wildcat and erase it from the playbook. Didn't work at all. 2 plays like negative 10 yards, which, take away that from your ground game, you ran the ball great, but you can't do that quite necessarily 1-to-1. So yeah, I agree, Will. As always, spot on. Joseph Ian Torres, would you say the defense should start games with the bare front, he's against the Giants, against good ground team? Switch nickel looks on pass favorable downs. I think so. I think you have to kind of do it more of a situational football. Like you still have to align to your personnel. That's what makes him like the Niners so dangerous. The Niners can come out there in 11 personnel with McCaffrey and Kittle and run the ball down your throats, and you're going to want to be in 11 personnel. You're going to be a nickel to match them. You can't quite do your bare front that way. That's what makes them really challenging. But against the Commanders, if teams come out in 2 tight ends, I'm going to that bare front every time. So I think when it's obvious run spots, Joseph, that's what I'm going to do. I think that'll lead to more success. Leroy Pearson Jr., how many Pro Bowlers do you see on this roster? The Pro Bowl's weird because a lot of players get in these days because people, like, I'll put it this way. Dak will be a Pro Bowler. Dak will not go. Remember, it was not last year, the year before that. He was invited to the Pro Bowl. He's like, nah, I'm just not going to go. And it was like, wait a minute. How did Kirk Cousins go? It's like, but Dak said no already. How did Gino go? Dak said no already. So Lamb will be one. Tyron Smith will probably be one. Whether or not he goes, he's not going to go. Tyler Smith could be one. Zach Martin will win one out of by default. That's how that tends to go, straight up. Pollard won't be. Dowdle won't be. Dak will be. Tank Lawrence probably won't be. Micah will be. Daron Bland definitely will be. And your kicker, Brandon Aubrey, will end up being one as well. Sam Jones, who is actually wide receiver 3 on this team? Yes, is my answer. Depends on the game. They've used Tolbert more. They gave Gallup some more run. I thought he played pretty well past few games. When he's not being force-fed all the targets, I think better things happen. Pick a wide receiver. Who do you think is wide receiver thing? I think it's a combination to an extent here. JT for Jalen Tolbert, MG for Michael Gallup, or KT for KaVontae Turpin. Sound off in the comments section. Elmatic 7. What are our chances of wild card on the road? You're going to be favored against the Saints, Bucks, or Falcons. You'll be favored. Got to get the win still, but you will be the favored team in that game. From Mark, Tom, this game is what I mean by inconsistent. Pam's missing their top 2 corners, and your leading receiver had 42 yards. Should have been a blowout. D was good. I get it. A couple notes here. You did benefit from some correctly called penalties. The Panthers in total had 90 yards of flags, several of which came on downfield pass interference plays. But you also had the single biggest margin of victory in the NFL this week. And that's not good enough. I get that the fourth quarter they ran away with the kind of like the Colts game last season. And yeah, but the Panthers, their entire plan was we're not going to allow you to air it out downfield. That was their entire game plan the entire way. Defense played great, make no mistake about it. Offense didn't have the same number of plays it normally does. They kind of regressed for a little bit in the first half to normal third down rates, then kind of got going later on. And there are some things to be worried about, make no mistake about it. But in a road game, you win by 23, you never trail. I know it's a bad football team, but the Lions almost lost against the Bears, and they're a bad football team who barely beat Carolina. I'm just going to take the win and get out of there and enjoy it. Lance Dunbar's burner. Aubrey missing the extra point proves that kickers once again aren't people. Congrats, Tom. Also, it seemed like he took the gimme for granted. I don't know. You're going to miss kicks. You're never going to be perfect from that perspective. So yeah, I do think that's very fair. Brokov, if Dak wins MVP, shouldn't Mike be coach of the year? If Dak wins MVP, that probably means the Cowboys won the NFC East and maybe got the number 1 seed. In which case, he's going to be in the conversation. Now, Mike McDaniel, Dan Campbell, etc. might be in that conversation. Well, Andy Reid's always in it. But if all those things happens, yeah, Mike should be in that conversation.